Hi!
How are you?
Good! I'm Dr. Moriuchi and I'll take you around Saunders Business College.
Awesome! What do you do at Saunders College of Business?
I teach and I research here.
What courses do you teach?
I teach a variety of courses. So you have digital marketing, social media marketing. We have marketing research, exciting. I also teach the MBA program in the it's called Internet Marketing.
Where is your office?
Right there, we just passed it.
What is the best way for students to reach you?
Email, I would say.
Have you always been a professor?
No, I haven't.
What excites you the most about teaching?
I think when I see the students, like the bulb light up, and they understood things that they thought they did, that was pretty exciting to me.
What intrigues you the most about teaching social media?
I think it's pretty fun, and I think a lot of the times when students see social media is from the consumer perspective, not from the business perspective. So if we can kind of turn it around and say, from a business perspective, how would you see it? How would you engage your consumer? I think that kind of have a different perspective from people.
What research have you done outside of the classroom?
Oh, great question. I've done cross-cultural research in social media, health marketing, digital marketing, but I think the cross-cultural part of it is pretty exciting.
What can people learn from reading your book?
My book, yes, and I'm going to show you a copy in a little bit, but it shows there's a couple of books that I wrote, but one of the latest one would be the cross-cultural marketing, where we see different cultures and how different countries use social media differently, and it all stems from the different cultural background that they have.
Is this the first book you've written?
No, I haven't. I wrote 3 books. This is the 3rd book.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is a book that everyone should read?
That book, Cross-Cultural Marketing.
Describe yourself in a hashtag.
Hashtag animated.
What is the hardest part about social media?
It's changing all the time.
What's the best piece of advice you've received?
I would say, so this could be taken in a different context. So the best advice that I've received is regret for not trying rather than regret for trying. So let me explain. If, say for example, you want to try something and you weren't sure, but you did it anyway, and maybe you didn't do that good, it's fine. You tried, rather than regret for not trying.
What's the best piece of advice you'd give your college-age self?
Just keep working hard and working smart.
Do you prefer coffee or tea?
Coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon.
Best way to take a rest or decompress?
Swimming.
Best thing to happen to you today?
This? Yay!
How many countries have you visited?
I think it's close to 20.
Awesome. How many languages do you speak?
5.
What's your favorite social media platform?
Instagram.
What's your favorite app?
Favorite app? WhatsApp.
Did you have a MySpace profile?
Oh my goodness, you make me look. Oh, yes, I did.
What are 3 things you can't live without?
Air, water, and my family.
Hey, Emmy.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
If you could study abroad anywhere right now, where would you go?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think I would like somewhere exotic like Bhutan.
Bhutan.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Why is it important for RIT students to study abroad?
It gives them a different perspective in life. And so when you're so comfortable in your own area, and when you step out, you would feel that, everybody has a different perspective, and it's all kind of embedded in their culture and the belief system and the value system. So it makes you a better person, I feel.
Couldn't agree more.
Yay!
Thank you. WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger?
WhatsApp.
Current TV obsession?
Yeah, I'm a nerd. I don't really watch TV.
What could the next social media platform provide that others right now are not?
Oh my god, did you guys watch that metaverse thing? I think it's more of a blurring of the virtual reality and the physical environment. That, I think, would be the next big thing.
What is the best formula for writing captions?
Have a purpose, have your story, have your personal story, and always have value in what you're sharing.
What platforms are best for artists looking to build their portfolio?
Oh, that's a good question. So I have a few of them. You have, let's see here. I don't have my cheat sheet here. You have ArtStation, which is for 2D, 3D artists. And then you have a Dave Flash, which is like a IG, the old IG version, Instagram. You have DeviantArt for the amateur artists. You have the Dots. It's like a LinkedIn for creatives. And then you have like portfolio platforms like Behance and Dribble. Those are great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What social media is better than traditional media?
What social media? I think they all need a balance. There isn't really one that is best because they all need to go hand in hand.
Do the number of likes really matter if you're posting quality content?
No, however, it does tell you whether it's attracting anybody or not.
How long has social media been around?
Since 2004?
Should everyone join social media?
No, unless you're interested in and there's a purpose for you joining in social media.
Is there a formula for going viral?
Yes, there is. So you have your number of forwards, number of people forwarding, and I think very important thing is the time, how long it takes to get the message across to your target audience.
How does influencer marketing affect the overall market?
Oh, the engagement. Engagement is really big with influencer marketing, and it's actually influencer marketing is also part of paid marketing, just that you have that personal touch with people, your community.
Besides followers, what are the differences between smaller influencers and larger influencers?
Oh, definitely the engagement. So nowadays we have different categories of influencers. You have the micro, and then the big one is like the mega. And now of course you have the middle one. But when you have micro, you are more close-knit, tight-knit with your community. And so the things that you share are more relatable and you can actually reach out to a lot of them. So I think that engagement really makes a difference.
What specific resources do you find to be useful in staying up to date on digital consumer behavior?
Many resources out there. You have Social Media Examiner, you have Moz, you have Search Engine Journal. A lot of them are out there and it's all reliable sources.
Are paid ads or influencer posts more effective for increasing engagement with a brand?
It depends on your brand's purpose.
What social media has the best value per buck advertising system?
That would be Facebook.
What is the best measure to see if your social media strategy is working?
That depends entirely on your objective. So if you're trying to create brand awareness, then you want more reach and more impressions. But if you're trying to sell, then you need to look at conversions or website traffic.
How long does the average person spend on social media per day?
145 minutes a day, that comes to 2 hours and 40 minutes a day and 882 hours a year.
Oh my goodness. What is the most effective style of social media posts to promote your brand?
You need a mix of different styles. So you can think about interacting with your followers, you can have some promotion, and you need to also post content that is like authority building, so that shows your knowledge about your topic.
How would a marketer determine the best post schedule for their target audience?
By researching their target audience.
How can a brand balance social issues with business objectives without coming off as insincere?
Oh, that one you have to differentiate between brand activism and cause-related marketing, because say for example a brand is not really tied to that social cause and they come out to promote that social cause, it will seem very not authentic at all. So that relationship has to be really close.
Is there any such thing as overposting content on stories?
Oh, yes. Negative effect, because it comes in two ways. For the business, it might seem like you're just posting random stuff, or even if you don't have random stuff to post, it will also show where your effort is going. You're supposed to be nurturing your consumers and not just, feeding them information.
Why are people drawn to cause so much trouble to companies over social media?
Because the angry button on Facebook It weighed 5 times more than the other buttons.
Do you think cancel culture is a good or bad thing in the social media presence?
It can be both, right? It can be good because we're holding people accountable for their actions. But if you're unjustly punishing or if you're turning into an angry mob, that can be a real problem.
What are your thoughts on how brands are becoming curators and curators are becoming brands on social media today?
Oh, they are called co-creators and collaborators. So I think that's great. You're getting your consumer involved in your brand, and that kind of let them have a voice, which I think is great.
Where do you guys see the future of social media? Where do you guys think it's projected to go?
I think we'll see a lot more technological advancements such as VR, AR, but hopefully we'll also see a lot more regulations with respect to privacy and protecting the users on the platforms.
Why are some platforms better for social media marketing than others?
Because of the content, because of the purpose. So for example, if you are a plumber, you can't just post on any random social media. You have to use the advantage, the benefit of what that social media is made for.
What will the role of streaming be?
I think the role of streaming will get larger because streaming is very engaging and a lot of people enjoy watching it. So it's a perfect opportunity for your brand to engage with your consumers.
How do ethics play into social media marketing?
Oh, big. You really need to see what's right and wrong and not just bring it forward just because you think it's right. But also another thing is there's a lot of social awareness right now. So yeah, we need to look into that area too.
What can you tell users who are concerned about their privacy on social media?
They should be.
They should check their setting. This is Odin. And also Senior Associate Dean.
Hi, Emmy and Heiss. It's great to see you. So
Good to
what
see
kind of new skills are you developing right now?
For me, it's biosensor analytics.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So at that intersection between healthcare and analytics.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
really interesting.
Yeah.
What about you, Heiss?
I'm working on my Tai Chi skills. I'm actually taking a Tai Chi class at RIT now.
So relieving stress.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. Good job. Well, have a great day.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps up all of our questions, but for anybody online right now, please feel free to answer or ask any questions on Instagram. Awesome, and we are back live, so if anyone has any questions, please let us know.
We didn't introduce this Professor Heiss.
Hello everyone, I'm Professor Gijs Overgoorn, and I teach social media marketing, also in the spring. And there's still some spots left that you can sign up.
Awesome, a few people have joined us. So again, if you have any questions for either one of our professors about social media, about Saunders, feel free to comment on our live. Is there anything else that we didn't discuss within the questions that you guys think we should talk about?
Are you talking to us? Emmy, do you have
I
anything?
think one of the things that I think when people are talking about, you know, how to write stuff, how to get attention and whatnot, I think there is an importance in looking at where the buyer is in the journey. So there's a difference between somebody who has no idea who you are, you know, you're just trying to spread their awareness, people considering products or services, and the end where you have to have that last push to, you know, have a sales pitch. So every stage of the buyer's journey is different, and you can't just off the bat start selling stuff because you're just going to scare people away.
Awesome. We have our first question. How did you get into social media and marketing?
You want to go first?
Sure. Well, social media is basically the peer pressure, right? Because everybody is on it, so you feel the pressure of being on it as well. I did delete it from my phone though because I feel like it was very distracting to my work. And then marketing, I kind of rolled into like after my master's degree, which was in more computer science and economics. And then I kind of got interested in the questions, and it turned out that the methods that I was using, for example, I was predicting likes on Instagram, for example, with one of my research questions. So that moved me into the direction of social media and marketing. So, yeah.
Yeah, for me, social media is really big. It's not just the networking platforms like Instagram and Facebook, but it's like including review sites, it includes websites, and so like it's that whole conglomerate of things that are online. And so part of me, not part of me, but why I got into social media or just digital media in general is because people's behavior is very different offline and online. And I just was really interested in knowing what causes that to happen.
Another question just came in. So for anyone who missed our Instagram live, what is your favorite platform?
Instagram. I wish I had the heart there.
Twitter.
What is the most popular social media platform in your opinion?
Instagram.
It depends on who you're asking. In the perspective of is it a business or is it personal, right? So the younger crowd would probably say TikTok, and not say older crowd, but the ones that are more, familiar with the older platform would be Facebook.
How would you optimize Instagram?
By doing a lot of testing. So you have to see whatever you're posting, how it is received, and why it is received like that, and then you can optimize it as you go. And that's the most important part, is always optimizing and adapting based on your audience.
I think one thing to also notice to add on to that is that for there's a lot of white papers out there. For those who don't know what white paper are, is research that are done internally in businesses, and so they already have data on what works and how many posts that you should have, like 1 or 2 Instagram posts a day. But you really need to look at the analytics to see what post works, what didn't work, what format works, and whatnot. So you have to keep on optimizing it.
Yep.
Do you think Facebook will become obsolete?
That's a tough one.
It will be, because it will be called Meta, right? But I don't think it will become obsolete. They have a lot of power and a lot of followers, and as long as they can stay big in that sense, they'll always have a lot of sway.
Yeah.
But it will be important for other companies and maybe for regulations to be there, so that smaller companies can compete with companies like Facebook, so that we can actually start competing about consumer well-being and about privacy and ethics, so that the platforms that are most popular are those that actually enhance our lives, instead of just the ones that are generate the most profit. Right?
How is the demographic important to each platform?
Oh, very important. You need to know who you're speaking with or speaking to. So say if I have a group, my target audience uses Instagram, but I go and promote on Facebook, then you're not reaching your target audience. You really need to see where they so-called, I like to use this word, live on social media, and so you can actually talk to them at the right time, at the right platform, with the right platform.
Oh, I love this question. So I'm assuming this is coming from an RIT student. What classes should I take at Saunders? Are there any good social media classes?
There's one that is absolutely the best out of all of them, and that is social media marketing.
And another one, digital marketing. So it's like the foundation, and then you step up to go into social media
Yes,
marketing.
do take digital marketing before social media marketing. That will help me a lot.
Before that, this is the book that you should read.
Awesome. All right, a couple more questions. Which social media platform do you think will have the most growth in the next 10 years?
That question would be dependent on the target audience. So I would say, based on what we are looking at now, TikTok, for the younger audience, that will grow. But I think if you are more, and then I think a lot of people are more into visuals and videos and those kind of graphics. So Instagram, I think, would be one, but I don't know if there's another one that's up and coming, a new social media platform they always do.
Yeah, there's a new, it's kind of like Instagram, so a photo sharing app.
Yep.
But then instead, it doesn't have all the engagement metrics, so it doesn't have the likes, it's not curated by an algorithm. So they just show you what you want to see, and I can see that become more popular. So people are starting to get perhaps a little bit fed up with all the algorithm and all the recommendations, etc. So that could be interesting.
What is the best way to gauge to see if you are successful on social media?
That's a very good analytics question. So you would start from the beginning. You would measure what you have so far, how many people are on your platform, and then you just have a calendar, have like a spreadsheet to measure month by month what has the number of people who have subscribed or followed you, what kind of content they like. So and then another thing too is like we don't just want to look at how many followers you have or how many fans you have for Facebook, but we want to know which piece of content, that I like that content that make people want to go to you and read more from you.
And to add to that, it always needs to tie back into what you're trying to achieve. Right? If you're trying to achieve to create more brand awareness, then you really need to focus on how many people have seen it, how many people know my brand right now. But if you're later in the funnel, like Emmy just described, then you really need to focus on, okay, what can we do to make them share more content or create more content for us, and then really engage them and drive them through the 7 steps of engagement that Emmy writes about in her book.
Yes.
Speaking of that, somebody just asked, what book is that?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. So I don't have my physical copy in my office, but this is what it looks like. It's on cross-cultural. But there's another book that I wrote, which is this. I'm just promoting. So this is the 2nd edition. This one would be on consumer-generated content. So Heis and I were talking about, having people collaborate, co-create content, get your voice in there, let the brand have you involved and participate. And so, you feel good about yourself, and also that will kind of have more loyalty to the brand.
Is there a certain social media platform that everyone should have or use for their business?
Oh.
The big ones, right? The
Yeah.
big ones, because there will always be part of your target audience that is on those big platforms, so that's where you need to be.
So yeah, I think if you are into paid advertising, especially recent research actually show that Facebook has the most effective with paid ads with businesses.
How would you target someone on social media platforms? Do you target by location? What about hashtags? Should somebody use hashtags?
Oh, that's a very good question. So I would answer the hashtag part. Each social media have their pros and cons. And each social media are known to have hashtag, whereas some don't. So like say for LinkedIn, they try to start it, but it's not as, I would say, effective as you would do on Twitter and Instagram. So Twitter and Instagram, yes. And you always want to have, especially if you have a physical location for your business, you want to always have a hashtag with the location, hashtag with your brand. So I would say it's a branded hashtag. Now, anybody can use that branded hashtag, so it's your duty to do homework on whether that hashtag has been used or not.
And there's quite a few tools available that you can track your hashtags and track the trendiness of certain hashtags.
Awesome. We are going to wrap up with a few more questions. What is more important for social media, quality or quantity?
Definitely quality.
And then what is the difference between a data analyst and a social media analyst?
A data analyst is much broader, so you can be hired to analyze all sorts of data, and the social media analyst takes only the social media data and analyzes that. So it's much more specific. But I think data analysts will work with social media data if it is required. Yeah.
Our last question. how would someone create strong engagement on LinkedIn? Is this something that you can answer through our takeover, or is this something that people can learn in your classes?
Yeah, they'll learn it in my class, and they'll learn it when they read Emmy's book.
Yep. Engagement is really the key right now. We don't just put up stuff and hope it will catch on, but you really need to do the homework to see what works, what didn't work. And, if people are engaging, they get excited and they just want to stick on and just, follow you through the end. To the end.
Awesome. I think that wraps up all of our questions. Do either of you have anything else that you would like to share with everyone?
If you're curious on learning more about social media marketing and the digital marketing sites, say search engine optimizations and stuff like that, we have courses that offer that. And so even if you think you know a lot, to me, I think knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have, the more informed you become and the better decision you can make.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of you know how to use social media, but marketing on social media is something entirely different. So that is what our classes will give you, right? Is we'll give that perspective of, okay, what happens on the other side of these business accounts.
Awesome. Well, I think that wraps up our Instagram live takeover. Thank you both so much for joining us today.